There's no more curious case in Comicsgate right now than Graham Nolan. Graham Nolan is an actual talent who actually has wonderful art skills, who does actually get his work done, and he's a conservative Catholic. So in theory, the guy's supposed to have some good morals, supposed to actually, be somebody who's upstanding and out there, and yet he's gone full tilt in simping for the Ethan Van Sciver brigade that is attacking every Christian and conservative out there in the space to try to build this little fiefdom. And it got really weird yesterday to the point where I'm like, is there something going on here? Is this guy being blackmailed? So I'm trying to figure out what the onus is here. It may be as simple as he just thinks that Ethan's the only person who can sell his current book that's coming out. And as you see, he's launching a new book. And so, but there could be more to it, too, because I've seen some crazy stuff going on in Comicsgate. And this is a really sad case for what's happened here, because this guy should be leading the charge for the change in comics and the change in what's going on in the industry. And yet he's perpetuating the same terrible things that are, of course, going on through this. And as you can see, it's just a big, big time simp brigade right here. It starts with, "Are you ready for Ethan Van Sciver's next great book?" Well, nobody is, because nobody's going to ever get a book. That's the truth about all this. He supports the worst in comics, and you can see, over the last few days when Ethan launched this with Graham Nolan, Billy Tucci, all these guys were given marching orders to promote this book hard and just act like everything's wonderful in this whole Comicsgate setup, but it's not. These guys are all losing backers like crazy. Of course, Graham Nolan's about to find that out with his new launch again, as it's going to circle the drain once again. And how long before these guys actually go and say, you know what? A few $1,000 is not worth my soul. How long before that? We'll see. We'll get into what happened all the way the last couple of months with Graham Nolan here in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in comics. Like I said, this is a tragic case beyond anything, because this guy really should be a leader and not a follower of this garbage. But this is what a few bucks does to some people. They will sell their souls for anything. And, it's sad to watch. It really is tragic. And this is indicative of just how bad the comic industry's become. So we're starting something different and new. This is my Flying Sparks, guys, and it is on my comic Substack. I'm just putting it up just for you to read, because what I've noticed is a lot of these movements that are surrounding Marvel and DC pros or former pros are not about actually reading books. They're just about that fear of missing out, collector's item, all new #1 first variant cover issue that you can only get for 24 hours, or if you order 5,000 copies of Absolute Batman, you can get this one, right? CGC, grade it now, don't even read it. And that whole mentality has created this ecosystem where it's cutthroat and people just going at each other all the time. And it's not about stories or quality comics or characters that develop or worlds that are interesting. It's just about that, right? And so that's what the live streams have created over on the Ethan Van Sciver side of things. That's what Marvel and DC are creating in the comic shop. So we have to do something different, and we have to be about reading again. And so, guys, I am building a beautiful readership right here on this Substack, and I'm doing so by posting a page at a time. You sign up here. I send out a page every single day for free. It's great stuff. I'm best deal in comics right here. I started this about a month ago. We're reaching huge milestones, and we got a bunch of new paid subscribers this weekend too. So this is the patronage system, and that's what we need to build now. That's actually about the arts and not about the nonsense that's on these live streams and stuff like that. And my goal here is to build up a system where it's sustainable, and I can create art that's for the art's sake, and actually do something different and do something really innovative with the industry versus what these guys are doing. So Substack's a great free speech platform. I love supporting it. I love being on here. Sign up. Like I said, there's free, so you can read for free. Once you feel compelled, you want to support what we have going on here, you can, of course, sign up for an exclusive paid membership. And we've got 2 comics going exclusive. I don't know anybody else who just does this kind of thing to where they're just posting comics exclusive for some paid subscribers like this. We're really doing as much work as we can, and I work harder than anybody else out there, and that's why it's great to be a fan here. I'm glad you're here. So please hit the like and subscribe. Sign up for this in the description below. That's the best things you could do today to change the culture. Now, Graham did this, and he got absolutely savaged in the content. I would rather drink Kool-Aid. And then Graham says, allow me to pour you a cup. You see how bitter he gets about this. And the Kool-Aid is a reference to, a cult that went around and they drank the Kool-Aid and they all killed themselves, right? Pretty nasty. And to respond this nasty as well is just indicative of what Comicsgate is. And you've seen Ethan post things, and he goes KYS, right, which stands for that. And this is just like what these guys are about. If you're not on board with their just absolute nastiness out there, then you know they hate you. They are livid at you. And Graham Nolan, like, particularly got himself under fire because Ethan Van Sciver started attacking his longtime partner, Chuck Dixon. And if you don't know, Ethan Van Sciver runs this live stream where all he does is attack Eric July and Yellow Flash and Nerdrotic, some big YouTubers who are all wonderful people. And they just produce good works and just do their own thing. And he can't handle that because they're more successful at YouTube and, of course, comics than he is at this juncture. And so he brings all these guys around who are former Marvel and DC pros to give himself some credibility, to make it look like we're professionals here, right? While he does this. And Graham Nolan's one of those that just sits on there and just like waits for a handout from Ethan's audience and has for years. And so he, just sold his soul to go to that little thing, and he just like lets it happen. Now, a couple months ago, because Chuck Dixon's been writing so many Rippaverse books, and by the way, I just read The Great War of Separation, Parts 1 and 2, and Zalen, which came out from Chuck Dixon over at the Rippaverse. Great stuff. These were really fun. The Great War of Separation really gave some backstory, which makes the whole setup of the Rippaverse make sense. Zalen's a wonderful science fiction thing that's like really set apart from everything else. You can read that one by itself, and it's pretty fantastic. And so he's been working really hard. And so, of course, Ethan Van Sciver's been trashing his books constantly. Now, Graham Nolan has been a longtime partner of Chuck Dixon. They did a lot of work on Batman together. They've known each other for a long, long time. And, I'm sure behind the scenes, Chuck's such a nice guy that Graham was probably like, look, I got to be on the Ethan Van Sciver stuff. I hope it doesn't bother you. And Chuck's probably like, hey, just get the money however you can. It doesn't bother, that's how nice Chuck is, right? But Ethan Van Sciver actually went on a stream with Graham and like started calling Chuck Dixon a has-been, started attacking his work. And Graham just like keeps it silent. And the reason he keeps it silent is if you go against Ethan Van Sciver's narrative with these people, he'll turn on you every single time. Anything you go against the narrative on, that guy will then hone in on you as the next target. And none of these guys want that. They're all deathly afraid of it. They're deathly afraid of losing that audience who doesn't even read their books, but they give them a few $1,000s a year, and I guess they need that. That's the value of your soul. Okay, cool. But it is. And so that's what they have. And so like these guys stay tight-lipped silent. And a couple of the Comicsgate King guys do message with me. They have told me that we're really opposed to this. It's just like we're trying to figure out what to do. Graham hasn't shown that, though. Graham's gone out and been hostile towards people who would be his fans, been hostile towards conservatives and Christians, attacking them in the arts because of that. He came at me and started swearing at me. It was like, what are you doing? Graham's worked with me before. He's done a cover for one of my books. And I was one of the few people who was, promoting his books before he was with this stuff because I knew he was a conservative Christian and totally just does not care. Whatever gets him a few bucks right now, that's all he seems to care about. And it's really sad stuff. And you can see just how he treats these people on here. But he got pretty bad. Oh, yeah, back it as soon as I get all the Comicsgate comics I'm waiting for. You're not waiting on any of mine, that's for sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, nobody's going to buy yours now. I can't support anything Comicsgate now. Did he reply to this one? Or did he, given the way Ethan treats his fans and customers, just people who were his friends, no, I wouldn't support anything that man does. So Graham did not grace this one with a reply. Books not releasing until the 2030s aren't on my radar yet. And then a book I wouldn't receive for years after the promise date. CG's turned into a huge disappointment. LMAO, he's doing everything except for Cyberfrog free. Don't forget about Rainbow the Brute. I'm gonna pass. Okay, and nope. Yeah, he just got savaged in these comments on this. And let's look at the quote tweets here. We've got one. This is just a random sock account here. Well, he's launching another campaign. I don't even feel bad for CG customers anymore. I can't believe Indiegogo allows this. Why should anyone be excited for this when Ethan can't finish fulfilling Cyberfrog 2 because he got tired of drawing head sketches and Cyberfrog 3 is late? Cyberfrog 2 was terrible, no. And so he got pretty savage on this. And I'm just looking at this and I'm like, what's going on here? And then I go, oh, he's got a book coming next week. So he's going hard. right now, hoping that Ethan's going to promote this. Now, this is a humor strip, right? And so this is not something that the Comicsgate audience is really they only like that generic 90s, like, Image Comics launch look that, is like Rob Liefeld pouches on pouches, right? And so those are the only people there. So this is not a book that's like going to be naturally selling towards them. So Graham's going to need all the help he can get, and he knows that. He knows this is not going to be a good look when it launches, in terms of like not having much of a success compared to his prior books. But he's already been on a downward trajectory because most of the comic reading audience of Comicsgate has already tuned out. And so if you go to Graham Nolan's page, oh my gosh, Graham Nolan. And let's see, can we find one of these? Maybe not. His stuff is apparently is apparently shadow banned on Indiegogo. What was one of Graham Nolan's books called? Graham Nolan Indiegogo. Let's just look here. Escape from Monster Island. And like I said, it's sad. Monster Island originally was crowdfunded on Kickstarter and didn't do that great. And I was sad because it was a really good book. Like I said, the guy's really talented, and it's just sad to watch this. But you could see how he had like Return to Monster Island right here. This was 122,000, 1,500 backers. Whoops. When did this happen? March 2024. So he had that going on. And if you look at before this, The Ghost of Matacumbe Key was about, look at this, 2,700 backers. So he halved his backers from 2023 to 2024, and then did this one, Escape from Monster Island. Again, under $100,000 now because people are not coming in on this stuff as much, right? And so that's what he's kind of losing here, and he knows that this is not a book that this audience is interested in also, so he's going to have a hard time selling this, and that's probably what's going on here as far as things going with all of this. And you look at this, and you see like lots of trying to promote this, like this building up, and then he goes back to just attacking people. I come home from a wonderful day out with my wife to a retard convention. So again, he's angry that these people are not accepting the fact that he's sold his soul with this group, right? Has Aaron ever made excuses for pornographers? I knows he goes with the King's default blanket excuse. We're a loose network of businesses when excusing Ethan's general unrestrained jackassery. But that kind of falls apart when Ethan makes his mandates from on high to the Kings, right? Not directly. Fraga was good friends. We'll see how that turned out. If anything, it's a tacit apology for Ethan for the behavior. And let me reiterate, Fraga said he resigned from professionals as a lie to protect the integrity of people he shouldn't have been protecting. Graham Nolan told him to get the F out because they want money, and Ethan Van Sciver gets them those shekels. So if this is interesting right here. Now, notice Graham doesn't actually deny that, right? He just calls people names and attacks them because they're not supposed to know this. This isn't supposed to come out, right? And so I do think that Graham, above any of these others, is really, really just really obsessed with those Ethan bucks that comes in and will do anything for them. Is this guy really in this bad a financial shape that like he's willing to throw other professionals under the bus? Mike Miller says now they kicked them out. He was very open about it at Heroes, so the professionals kicked him out, including Graham. A very noble thing by saying he was leaving of his own accord. So he actually covered for them when they were like, well, you got to go because you're on Ethan's cancel list. So they'll throw each other under the bus to keep this out there. And of course, like I said, he doesn't deny it here. Chuck says, I don't understand any of this. Sad because, again, Ethan's attacking Chuck Dixon because he works for that, you lucky bastard. Ha 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 ha. Oh, yeah, that covers for it. That's it. And then keep being a coward, Graham. You and all the Kings. Keep tying yourself to Ethan. Great idea. Keep at it, keyboard warrior. And we'll see how this all goes here. You guys are, this is it. And then we get this. Ethan Van Sciver launches his campaign. It's down backers. As much as like he's extracted a lot of money out of fewer people, he's down to 1,000 backers or less who care about his work at this point. We actually thought it was going to be double that. I actually thought it was going to be a lot higher. I thought he was going to be up around 1,500, 2,000 backers. So if that's the case, how many does Graham Nolan have? He had 1,500 on the last one, and he had 2,500 on the one before that. So, and then this is a product that, again, people are not going to like out of this. But look at this weird this weird posting like, this Cuban cigar is being smoked in honor of all the CG fans that came out to support Ethan Van Sciver and help silence the haters and pushed his new campaign over 100,000 in less than 24 hours. Well done. You guys are the best. Hail. Now hail is a thing that started with Ethan Van Sciver, of course, demanding loyalty to him. And it's a virtue signal on that level as well. So it's a weird virtue signal going on here all the way around with this, and my gosh, like, silence the haters, blah, blah, blah. No, I mean, you guys are the haters. This is the whole point, is you guys are attacking other creators all the time, attacking conservative Christians in this space, in the Rippaverse, me, Mike S. Miller, Dan Fraga, etc., all because you want a few bucks, like, off of this guy's live stream network that it's not even comic book readers. These people don't care about comics. They don't understand your deal here, and it's crazy. And so Barry Merritt talks about the Cuban cigar here, but here it is as we talk about things. Haters, go F yourself. These are customers he screwed over. What a total bitch you turned out to be. And this is tell me in person, and you can be bitch slapped. You'll probably like it, though. So again, like, threatening people online is where Graham Nolan is at these days. This is how sad this is. Really sad. Not exactly. I knew how he had to big everybody, and he had to add more stuff that isn't even related to the campaign in order to make that happen. Yeah, he milked over $200 per backer out of things. I mean, he does have a large whale group that comes in for him. Now, of course, because that's shrinking as well, because it's people who don't care about comics, the amount that are going to trickle down to Graham from this is going to shrink as well, that we're going to see here very, very shortly. And it's very crazy that, of course, this is going on here. So Graham is like, this is weird stuff. So it's led me to speculate, because I guess Graham, from what I could tell, this guy's like a money-grubbing type of guy as much as possible. And he cares about a couple $1,000 more than he'll throw anybody under the bus and anything under the bus for a couple $1,000. That's who this guy is. But what he'll do, I'm wondering, because if you've been behind the scenes of Comicsgate for a long time, there's some weird stuff going on, and there's a lot of sexual degeneracy and deviancy going on, lots of weird, like, sex chats with some of these girls who are out there circling around these, orbiting and all that, and there's been blackmail that's been confirmed that's gone on, and it's happened. So it's like, I wonder, like, when it goes this hard, it's like, is it really for a few $1,000? Like, does that really matter for this campaign? It could be just like he knows that this is not something that's going to sell, and so he's trying to get Ethan to push it hard, and he's trying to just, wash Ethan as hard as possible just to make that happen. Or maybe there's something else going on here. Maybe he's forced into this situation. I don't know what the thing is. But like I said, there's weird stuff going around Comicsgate as well. This is not a nice community at all, and that's why we're building something different that's actually around comics and actually around real storytelling, and with explicit values. Explicit conservative Christian values is what we have going on over here. We do not accept anything else, because you accept any leftism, you accept any of that stuff, it all ends up like what we see with Comicsgate. And so, guys, get on here on the Substack today. Start reading. It's very, very important that we build a community of readers that's real, that's different than what we have going on with this stuff here, because it's ugly, and we don't want any part of that, and you don't want any part of that either. So build this, guys. Let's start this today. It's growing so nicely, and thank you for being here as we've covered this for the last few weeks and built this up on Substack. Grab this in the description below. It's so important. Even if you sign up for an unpaid membership, I stay in touch with you via Substack. It's way better than YouTube and the like, and it's a much healthier community building webcomics. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about all this, guys. What do you think the onus is here? Do you think it's just as simple like his campaign's launching, or is there more to it? Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.